Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, if there wasn't enough reasons to hate James Gunn, a few new things have sort of come to light. One, that he, on day one, cancelled Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and denied her and Patty Jenkins and the fans the trilogy that they were basically promised and was supposed to be in production. Just like he did with Henry Cavill, they promised that they had him in Black Adam and promised he was going to come back and he was going to get his final film, and then they pulled that out from under us. And, James Gunn said that they needed a younger Superman because they were going to tell a story of a younger Superman, and they didn't do Superboy or a young Superman. They're just doing a Superman that's already in the middle of his career that could have been played by Cavill. There was no reason to recast or reboot. They could have done a soft reboot of the Snyderverse, changed it so it wasn't so much Snyder's style, and kept the actors and allowed the audience to feel connected to the DC universe and not feel like they were just being, having the rug pulled out from under them, which is how a lot of fans felt. And then we find out that he's keeping Peacemaker. So if he had any integrity, and if he really believed that we had to start the universe over again for the sake of the universe, he would have thrown out Peacemaker as well, because that was established in the old DC universe. They literally have a shot at the end of season 1 with stand-ins portraying the Justice League as they appear in their movie DC, cinematic universe forms. And we're just supposed to ignore that and just continue on with his show because he wants his show to be in the new universe, even though it doesn't fit in that universe. Just like he says, we can't bring Batman into this new universe because we have to have integrity. But yet we're supposed to accept his Peacemaker because it's his show. It's all about him. He's just a narcissist. He doesn't actually care about creating a new universe or a consistent universe. It's all about him. And creating a new universe just works for him because he gets to own it and create it and get all the money from basically doing it. He doesn't have to pay the other actors that are already well into their contracts or anything. He can just bring new people in, pay them peanuts. I mean, they paid Superman less than they paid Lex Luthor. They paid Cornsweet less than they played that guy who played, because who knows who that guy is. Was he even a star? There is some indication, some suggestion that they're actually going to explain in canon how Peacemaker is in the new Superman film and how, the Peacemaker series is in the new DC universe when it was established as being in the old DC universe, when it was started then. And some suggestion is that Peacemaker himself is going to cross into universes, and he's already done that, and that's why he was in Superman. Because some people were sort of trying to cope and acting like, well, somehow that report was from another universe or something. I'm like, how did they reason that? Because my understanding is he just appears on TV being interviewed in that universe. And like, how do you explain that? And apparently they're going to explain that somehow he crossed over to the universe and that's now why he's in there. So the rest of the cast isn't going to cross over. But that still doesn't explain it if they're trying to say that the Peacemaker series is now, unless they change universes within the show, it's not going to make any sense. But does that matter to James Gunn? No. Does he expect us to just eat that? Yes, because he doesn't care about us or consistency or the universe. He just wants his universe, his show about him and his characters and his idea of superheroes being stupid and a joke and being cynical and dark. And he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony. He can just do, all he can do is remake Guardians of the Galaxy as, Suicide Squad basically, and just keep using the same jokes, stealing stuff like the Hulk and Loki moment with Crypto and Lex, which was shocking and funny the first time, but doesn't really hold up once you've seen it. And certainly seeing it replicated with other characters again is just embarrassing. So yeah, I just had to talk for a minute about James Gunn because I hate him. I hate the universe he's created, and I don't think we have a problem with superhero fatigue. I think we have a problem with people who feel like they can't trust these new universes. Between the multiverses and constant reboots, people are afraid to commit. People are afraid to get invested and connect with these characters or these actors and get invested because, at the end of the decade or at the end of the year or at any point, they just be pulled out from under them because the studio thinks they can make more money turning DC into Marvel because Marvel made more money, but DC and Marvel are different. And maybe DC wasn't as big of a crowd pleaser, but you can't change it to make more money. You have to have consistency and have artistic integrity. But no, they just try to turn it into Marvel. And I hate James Gunn for doing that. He's the wrong person to do it. Not everyone likes his style. It's divisive and people are acting like, no, he's the greatest and people are just haters. I'm like, Well, maybe that's true, but look how many haters there are for him. I mean, obviously there's division there, and that's not a good thing for a brand that's supposed to appeal to everyone and be sort of a 4-quadrant tent peg, whatever they call them. So yeah, had to comment on that. The hypocrisy of him keeping, Peacemaker, throwing out Gal Gadot and all those things that he didn't care about, that he didn't create, and just keeping what he created, that he, so just hate James Gunn. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of James Gunn and the new DC Gunniverse, or James Gunn universe, whatever they're going to call it now. I'm not a Snyder bro. I wasn't really happy with what he did either, but they could have just retooled that universe, kept the same actors, and given us some consistency while changing the new films and making them totally different and appealing differently. They could have done all that, but they didn't.